and the most important place to start, and that has to do with the composition of crime. This is a good place for everyone to start because we need to understand that by and large, everything that you see in blue and green there is property crime. And the good news, which Terry alluded to in the introduction, is that in this space, we've seen some pretty substantial reductions in crime over the last 3 years. Unfortunately, what we haven't seen is a corresponding reduction in violent crime. Homicides are on pace with last year, which was a record year. Violent crime is up about 4% based on what we've seen thus far. And so despite the fact that we're making some substantial improvements in property crime, I think everyone agrees that the extraordinarily high rate of violent crime, specifically gun violence and homicides, is what we really need to focus on. And that is where we sort of take our strategic orientation as an organization in thinking about what kind of new technologies and strategies we can deploy to really hit that as hard as we can. To give everyone an overview, this is just a very basic graph of what are commonly referred to as the UCR Part 1 incidents. That's the compilation of crime that every community in the country reports to the FBI. I'm pleased to say again that the sort of the high watermark peak crime in this community occurred in August of 2017, and you can see a pretty steady decline over the last 3 years. Unfortunately, and we'll get into the details, that has mostly been driven by the reduction in property crime. So this is another way of visualizing or understanding the crime trends in the community. I've shown this to the chamber and its members almost every year, I think, that we've done this presentation. And again, to remind attendees, we do this in a way that reflects the movement of crime that is set against patterns, frankly, that are driven by the weather. What we try to do is remove those inconsistencies. Every single year, the high water mark for crime is usually July and August, because those are the hottest months of the year. January and February being the coldest months of the year, those are the low crime months. And so what this graph shows you is a standard view of crime across over time when you remove the inconsistencies that are sort of made apparent in the data with the weather. And so you see that solid green band with the exception of a couple of months that's driven the overall perspective. And again, this is largely the result of what you're seeing here, which is property crime. It is a pretty impressive run. For example, this is larceny. This is one of the key metrics that every community reports to the FBI. It is down substantially. Also very important for the community is the reduction in motor vehicle theft. Everyone I know in attendance here sees the impact not only on everyone's day-to-day life, but frankly, on the economic prospects of our community by sitting very, very high on the list of communities for motor vehicle theft. Fortunately, we've started to move down on the list of top communities, in part because of some strategic investments that we've done and partnerships that we've done, not only with the Albuquerque Police Department, but also with other state and local agencies. So we've been able to move the needle on motor vehicle theft, and I would imagine that this progress is going to continue.